had many big wins in your career, and nobody's probably ever going to come close to that. And you know, and I've won a few times, and they meant a lot to me. But the one that really got me, and I know you got you too at the time, was right after Jamie passed on, you know, in '78, you know, and he'd had leukemia for like almost 2 years, and I was going back and forth to be with him as much as I could, and trying to maintain, you know, and I know that you and Lynn were real helpful at the time, and he liked you a lot, you know, and we went back there and went into that race and come down with you and I in the final at Indy, at the big deal on TV, you know, and I remember that he told me, one of the last things he told me in the hospital was, you know, he knew that race was coming because he wanted to go, you know. And he said, you know, go do good for me at the race. And then we got to the race and went through it, and fortunate enough to beat you in the final. And at the end, I pulled off on the grass, and Christ, I was crying. I couldn't even get out of my car, and you came over there. And I mean, it was real. You know, that's something that's
you know,
touching for me.
Yeah, I relived that race a number of times too, and you know, we were running quite well during the event. I mean, we were a little qualifier.
Sure,
we had
every round.
Everything going our way, and you got a single the run before, and I think you ran about a half track and shut off, so you were pretty well set for the final. But once again, we were running awfully good too, and I went up to the starting line and I looked at it, and I picked the right lane, and I thought I was going to be just fine, and just for some reason or other, it just went up in smoke.
I mean, I saw the films afterwards, and it tried to leave, and then just started hazing the tires, and it just blew the tires off it.
And it was unbelievable because we weren't beaten quite some time, and but to watch you go down through there and cross the finish line first, there was I guess that was the only race in my entire career racing you that I didn't mind you winning, but yet that was the biggest race. You're in a state of shock.
Oh yeah.
Not only you're usually in a state of shock when you win a race.
Well, sure. I didn't know. Sunday afternoons I was never at the drag strip, so I didn't know how it was to be in the final.
I remember you used to when you book your reservations to go home for your flight home, you start from 1 o'clock in the afternoon.
Every hour.
Of course, first round was at 12:30.
That's right. And I usually left at 1.
Well, McEwen right now is as tough as anybody out there. He won the '84 Big Bud Shootout, ran 260 miles an hour. But in the early match race days, when you guys were out selling Hot Wheels toys for Mattel, you beat him up so bad every weekend, but he never lost his sense of humor or spirit.
No, he didn't. He had to have one in those days.
And you whipped him.
Yeah, I know. We whipped him bad, but I loved it. I loved beating the mongoose and still do today. But I attacked drag racing a little bit more serious than he did. You know, McEwen was a more colorful guy and had a great time doing it, but I had more of a great time beating him.
Well, he showed us all that there was a business side to this sport, too, that maybe we didn't know.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, McEwen really paved the way for a lot of racers today. Without a doubt, he's one of the best-known names in the sport.
You had to beat him, because if he won, you'd never live it down in the pits. I mean, he's brutal.
Oh, he'd either run a cartoon in the newspapers about how the mongoose beat the snake. Everywhere I'd go, I'd have to hear about it, so I could point out I had to beat him.
Well, he's a super guy, needless to say, but like you said, he did pioneer the sponsor stage of things to come. And he's a really smart businessman and has a lot of good knowledge upstairs that he doesn't just give out all the time. You have to kind of pry it out of him, but when he does open up and tell you, he knows what's going on.